Hello everyone, it's DuckFaden07. Today we are finally playing Cascade Zoo in Modern. Okay, so obviously from the Leyline of the Guildpact print, Zoo has been really strong in Modern, but Cascade builds, which were in the past also very popular, really fell off, especially after the Leyline of the Guildpact. There's been just absolutely no sight of the Cascade Zoo, but with Satoru the Infiltrator, I think the Cascade Zoo is back. This card is really great boost to the archetype. Okay, so what Satoru does here is it draws a card every time you cascade into a creature. So every time you play Charlotte's Agent, Bloodbraid Elf, you draw a card. Also, when you pitch cast Solitude, you also draw a card. Whenever you fetch Dryad Arbor, you draw a card, and I also have one of Norin Duveri in the 60, which also works nicely with Satoru and draws your card at the beginning of the end step every time opponent or any player casts a spell in a turn. Okay, so these are some very nice interactions, and it is a lot and enough to support Satoru in this archetype. Of course, you want as many as possible synergies with Satoru, but it's definitely enough to being worth including it here. Also, Satoru is multicolored, so it triggers your General Ferrous Rokiric. I decided to go with 4 Rokirics because I play Solitude and I want some density of white spells, and we have 16 here, which is more than enough. Also, we have Subtleties on the sideboard and Endurances, which also can trigger Satoru draw ability, so there is some cool stuff there on the sideboard too. We got Pest Control, Unmoored Ego, and Force of Vigors, all like really strong, effective sideboard cards. A sideboard here is like really good. Okay, so that is it. So we got Sweet Dread Arbor Tech to draw a card with Satoru. Also sometimes just blocking a Ragavan or whatever. One of Norin Duveri. I got 1 slot extra, so including 1 Norin Duveri, I think it's cool. In build with 4 Satoru, Norin can be very valuable, draw you a bunch of cards, and it's just a one-off, so you there's just no big disadvantage of having 1 Norin with 4 Satoru in your deck. Okay, so that is it. And yeah, okay, so very simple sideboard characteristic for Cascade Zoo, and we can now go to the gameplay. Okay, so let's check out match 1. Okay, so in the match 1, I started basically with a 1-lander and Dryad Arbor. I decided to risk it, just go for the Dryad Arbor on turn 1. Unfortunately, my opponent has Solitude to kill Dryad Arbor, so they were playing probably like blue-white control. And I play my Steam Vents and just basically at this point hoping to hit a second land to play either Satoru or Territorial Kavu. And I get my land. So I decide to start with Territorial Kavu here, but opponent has a counterspell. Okay, so there Esper, seeing Esper tells me they're probably just doing some Satoru build because that's like pretty popular right now. Okay, so I have some options here, but I decide to go for General Ferrous Rokiric, and they have Subtlety, so yeah, accidentally I F6'd here and I let them ephemerate, so let them draw a card because of the F6, and yeah, I just conceded because of that. And yeah, let's go check out game 2. Yeah, I just conceded because of the misclick. I was in a not great situation, but definitely had more play, good decent play available to me, but just decided to go for the next one. Okay, so go Wooded Foothills here and grab Xander's Lounge, And now turn 2, I have to choose what to do. I decide to go for the Sign of Draco. I want to keep my multicolor spells for the later turns. Also General Ferrous Rokiric is pretty good against them. If they don't have the fairy, they just don't have much ways to kill my general. Okay, so I go for a land, hardcast the general if they really need a counter spell here. Also I have a second general here, so I'm still good. Okay, so opponent goes for a survey land, passes the turn, still holding 2 mana. Okay, so I can continue attacking, and they're taking damage. They will be already on 10, and I also have General Ferrous Rokiric which I can cast, and they really have to counter that. So opponent goes for Solitude, so still has spare mana here, and they deal with General Ferrous too, so good turns by opponent. So now going for Satoru, holding Leyline Binding and Solitude. Opponent just passing the turns. Okay, so now I'm hoping to hit that land to be able to play my Bloodbraid Elf. Okay, here I go for Solitude, take their Satoru. In response they Otawara my Satoru, but that's totally fine. I still get to kill their Satoru and hardcast mine later. Okay, so I decided just to go for Satoru again, start attacking, then next turn I can finally cast my Shardless Agent. After that I can go probably for Bloodbraid Elf, so really good hand here. And I go for the attacks first, so I can maybe use Binding plus Satoru if they have removal in combat, but they don't do anything. So they take damage, so I just go for Shardless Agent. Opponent has a tight binder, so they counter my Cascade trigger. I don't get to draw a card here, but I'm still very good. Opponent only on 1 card in their hand, and yeah, they find a Solitude here, but I'm still good. Still another Satoru in hand and Binding. I have multiple options here, so I'm just staying back plus holding the Binding this turn. Opponent only 1 card. I'm still not drawing a land, so I just I have another Scion in hand, so I decide to put this one on bottom, play the Binding, take their Subtlety. I don't want to take their Solitude, so because if they have something like the Fairy, they can get the Solitude trigger again. I play the Bloodbraid Elf and into another Satoru, drawing me 2 cards. So opponent has Ephemerate, but they have 0 cards in hand. I play Kavu plus Sign of Draco, Solitude, their Solitude, so they can't Ephemerate, and I'm attacking for 2. Also Bloodbraid Elf next turn, so I have a bunch of damage there. And my opponent finds the Teferi, but I'm still like very close to lethal. I don't get to do the Cascade, but I'm attacking for 9, putting my opponent to 1 life, and yeah, they can't get out of this one, so that is the game. Let's check out game 3. Okay, I have Breeding Pool and Blood Crypt, so it's keepable hand. I can go turn to Kavu, then try to draw a 3rd land with Kavu ability. Okay, opponent goes for Stoneforge. They grab a Cryptic Coat. I'm not sure if they're playing Caldra Complete or not. Okay, but I go for a Territorial Kavu here. If they go for Caldra, I still have Solitude, so I'm good. Opponent passes the turn, probably just going for a Cryptic Coat. So I go for ability, and unfortunately opponent has a Tidebinder. Luckily I can kill the Tidebinder, so my Kavu survives. So I don't get the ability, but I did get the damage, so I guess that's... I forgot to play the Norin. I could play Norin here. Opponent has a Simulation Aegis, and they can put it into play immediately with their Stoneforge. Okay, so I find that land I needed, so I have multiple options here. I decide to go for Bloodbraid Elf. I hit General Rokiric, so now if they can't deal with Rokiric, I'm in a pretty good situation getting those free tokens. Since I didn't play Norin before casting the Shardless, I decide to just go for the Scion on Draco. If I cast Norin before, I could maybe hope to hit the Satoru and then draw extra card end of turn, but since I didn't do it, I decided just to go for the Scion instead, and I have a bunch of damage on the field, and I exiled the Norin. I have a lethal here, but if I didn't, I'm still like drawing end of turn card with Norin. It's pretty cool having the one-off Norin. Sometimes, since you have 4 Satorus in hand, it can really do nice job. So yeah, I think it's really cool one-off tech. Okay, so that's it. That was the match 1. Let's now check out match 2. Okay, I'll actually go through the wins first, then defeats later. Okay, I'm starting with Leyline of the Guildpact on the field. I can go for, I really like the ability to go for the Survey Land on turn 1 here. Survey lands are just very good. Okay, I decide to put actually Solitude in the yard and just pass the turn. Even if my opponent kills my Leyline, I still have full domain next turn. And yeah, I have some options here. Since I draw the Satoru here, I decide to go for Satoru this turn. Then next turn try to go for Shardless or Bloodbraid Elf, draw a card, whatever. Okay, so opponent is doing the surveilling and they're playing green, so they probably have like pick your poisons, either in their main or in their side, probably like Goif 2. Okay, so here I find Scion on Draco. I'm able to resolve it, but I decide to go for Bloodbraid Elf first. I feel like I'm able to use my mana better there if I just go for the Bloodbraid. Also, I have plenty of very good hits like General Ferrous Rokiric or Satoru, which is just drawing me cards. Okay, so they have Subtlety to prolong my Scion, and I put it on top. I just cast my Savu. There's plenty on the field they have to deal with, while still worry about my Scion, and they find the solutions for both of these cards. They hit my Kavu, exile my Scion with their Ragavan, but here I go into the Shardless Agent, into Satoru, and opponent finds a removal for counterspells I don't draw, but I have a blocker for Ragavan, and opponent goes for Ragavan Dash. I decide to use the opportunity since they're tapped out to take their Goifs. I can just continue attacking with Bloodbraid Elf, but they also have yeah, I failed here. Opponent goes for dash. I actually fetched the Dryad Arbor too soon, so I wanted to do it at when they attack, but accidentally just did it before that. It actually worked out well because I was able to continue pressuring them with Dryad Arbor and just Leyline Binding their Ragavan. So I was able, they were kind of low on life, so even Dryad Arbor is relevant now. They're already on 3. So like Bloodbraid Elf is lethal. They have to worry about Dryad Arbor. They have to find a solution for both Dryad Arbor and Kavu, and they don't find it, so that is a game over. Let's check out game 2. Okay, also let's check out the sideboarding plan. For this matchup, of course, I want endurances, and I think in the second game, I also bringing in at least one pest control. I think I settled for one pest control in this matchup. Post board, I don't really want to cascade into it on turn 3, but it's still very good when they have like bunch of DRCs, Ragavans, so it can be pretty useful. The Stern Scoldings are pretty annoying for this build. They counter General, they counter Satoru, so definitely there is a lot they can counter. They hit my Satoru, but they probably forgot they don't have Delirium. And I draw a card with Satoru and then pitch cast Endurance on their upkeep, exile their graveyard, and yeah, so I'm pretty also get to draw a card there, and yeah, it's very good position for me. I keep a Solitude on top, and I have my land there on just one card in their hand, and this is just a very good position for me. Opponent goes for a Surveil, puts a Ragavan in the yard, and now I can go for Dryad Arbor, draw a card with Satoru. Dryad Arbor tech is just very cool. I could go like Dryad Arbor, draw a card, play Territorial Kavu, that would also be great, but I decided to go for a Solitude, and my opponent unfortunately had a counterspell there, so I was able to draw into Scion Draco, which was great, and then start getting life with Satoru, just free block their channeler and kill it, and yeah, that was a game over and easy win in match 2. Okay, so let's check out match 3. Okay, again, starting with a Leyline of the Guildpact. I have Scion in hand. I can also just go for Surveil on turn 1. I also have access to Dryad Arbor with my green fetch. A General Ferrous Rokiric, it's great against Chem, but unfortunately my opponent has turn 1 Grief Scam, turn 2 Inquisition, discarding all my cards. And I still draw into the Leyline Binding to remove the pressure from the grief. And here I find a Scion of Draco. Opponent goes for Orcish Bowmasters. And having Verdant Catacomb to go for Dryad Arbor is pretty cool trick against a Shielded Edict. Yeah, so they can't really edict me here. The weird thing about Arbor is that it is green. The Arbor is green, so it's not affected by Leyline of the Guildpact or the Scion of Draco abilities. Okay, opponent here kills my Dryad Arbor, so I still continue attacking there. And I have a 2-turn clock. My opponent needs to find Lily of the Veil or Shielded Edict, whatever. They don't find it, and I have Scion of Draco kill. So that is again very easy game. Scion of Draco wins so many games. It's such a powerful card when you're playing these aggro matchups. My opponent went turn 1 Grief, turn 2 Inquisition, and had also a bunch of other cards, but it's just very hard to beat the high impact cards that Zoo plays, like Territorial Kavu, Scion of Draco with Leyline, Solitudes, Satoru now, and the Cascade spells. It's just crazy value whatever you do. Okay, here I go for Satoru. Unfortunately, my opponent has Fatal Push. I was hoping maybe they play like Bowmasters, then I get to Subtlety, draw a card. There is a bunch of cool stuff I can do here, but I go for second Satoru, and I have Solitude, I have Subtlety. Both of these cards enable me to interact there and draw me cards. So I go for the Subtlety here, kill the Construct token, and draw into the Leyline Binding. Leyline Binding is cool, I can use it, and still hoping to draw that Forest to be able to cast the Shardless Agent. And here I find it, and I can go of course for Dread Arbor to draw a card, but I want to go for the Shardless Agent, and I get to draw a card with Satoru. It's just crazy with these Cascaders, and when you have Satoru on the field or you cascade into Satoru, just drawing so much cards, and then I have a Solitude in hand, Subtlety in hand, all these free spells which I can cast, and then I draw into Bloodbraid Elf or another Shardless Agent, and it just gets silly. It's just so much value. I actually okay, so that is the match, and we can now check out the match 4. Very quick matches there. I actually screenshotted and posted on Twitter when I had General Ferrous Rokiric on the field, and then I cascaded Bloodbraid Elf into Shardless into Satoru, giving me 3 General Ferrous Rokiric tokens and drawing me 2 cards, if you don't realize this. So basically Satoru, when you play the Bloodbraid Elf and into Shardless, hit the Satoru is drawing you 2 cards because you get to draw from when Satoru enters the battlefield, then you get the draw when Shardless Agent hits the battlefield and Satoru is already on the field. So you get to draw 2 cards, and then Bloodbraid Elf enters, and it was the only creature that you paid cost for, so you get to draw 2 cards just by cascading into Shardless into Satoru. That is like really incredible. Okay, here we can see an example of actually it would be pretty cool, but sometimes when you're playing 5 color and you have spells like Territorial Kavu and Satoru, sometimes you just won't be able to curve perfectly. And I wasn't able to play Satoru last turn because I didn't have mana to play both Sorin and Satoru. But here you can see I have Norin on the field, play Satoru, end of turn Norin comes back, drawing me a card. Then again on their turn, again they triggered Norin, Norin comes back, draw a card. It's such a really cool one-off. Also we can see me fetching Dread Arbor here, another tech, pretty cool with Satoru and very useful in like this zoo style builds. So I really like both of these techs, they're both really cool. And here you can see me easily winning against Rhinos. Rhinos is historically one of the easiest matchups for the General Ferrous Rokiric Cascade Zoo builds. That is why I often played Rokiric builds when the Rhinos were popular. Okay, so let's check out game 2. Okay, let's check out the sideboarding plan against Rhinos. So 2 pest controls coming in. Also, I trimmed on some cards like 1 Satoru, 1 Norin. I decided to remove the combo Norin synergy for this matchup. Also bringing in Force of Negation. This means like Bloodbraids are going out. Okay, so that is it. Pest Control is a nombo with General Ferrous Rokiric, but it's just so impactful against a lot of decks. It's just so impactful that it's really strong and desirable sideboard card. So it's really great against prowess, it's great against affinity, it's great against food, great against scales, hammer. So a lot of matchups where you get just a bunch of value with this. Okay, here I go for a Satoru and Solitude, drawing me a card, exiling one of Rhinos. So I will take 4 from Rhino, I can block the Shardless Agent. So opponent resolves another Crashing Footfalls and passes the turn. I go for another Shardless, hoping to cascade into Kavu, and that also draws me a card, but unfortunately, yeah, okay, here I go for a Dread Arbor, drawing another card, and I find Leyline Binding, taking 1 Rhino token. Unfortunately, this didn't happen because my opponent had Boseiju. So yeah, only thing I could do is just draw another card, exile another Rhino token, but I'm not in a good situation, and I also draw another land with Satoru, so that is the game, and I didn't have sufficient draws, good draws, so I had to deal with this in game 3. Let's check out game 3. Okay, so I think this is a pretty good hand against Rhinos when you're playing first. I'm just going for turn 2 Cyano Draco and racing them. I can go like turn 2 Cyano Draco, turn 3 Cyano Draco, and I also find a Force of Negation, and with Force of Negation this is now like extremely hard game for my opponent, especially post-violent outburst bans when they have to play sorcery speed. Okay, I go for Draco again, passing the turn. I'm holding Force for their turn 3. I go for a Force on Teferi, and yeah, that was pretty crucial. So I'm just going for Scion, playing another Scion. This means basically a 2-turn clock, but I decided to go for a Shardless Agent instead and do the Surveil here, put the land in the graveyard. This way, if they play Rhinos, my Kavu has first strike, so they can't really block it well. They can just jump, so I think that's a great deal. And I get through with a lot of damage, play another Scion, and my opponent 0 cards in hand, but has subtlety to delay my Scion. Okay, so here they resolve another Rhinos and go in for a lot of damage. So I find myself in problem. It's really close game. I can discard this Dread Arbor. I can discard this Dread Arbor, try to find something else. Unfortunately, I only find Verdant Catacombs. I have my Shardless has hexproof, and there's just a low chance they can kill my Cyano Draco unless they draw Teferi. So Teferi was basically their only out, I think, here, or Brazen Borrower. So I was able to trade with one of the Rhinos, jump the second one with Shardless, and survive on 1 life and just kill them on the swing back. So that was the match against Rhinos. And we can now check out the only loss in this league. Okay, so starting with Leyline of the Guildpact, I have Binding, I have Solitude, I have Satoru. I think this is like a pretty good start. Also have Verdant Catacombs to go for the Dread Arbor. And yeah, of course I lose what we're going to lose, but against Zoo. Zoo is just a very good deck right now. So definitely no shame losing to Zoo. My opponent was playing a regular Zoo, and I think, yeah, Cascade Zoo was often just I actually accidentally cracked the Verdant Catacombs there, and Cascade Zoo was traditionally always had a good matchup against a regular zoo, and as you can see here, I played Satoru, get the Golem token, pitchcast the Solitude, exile Wild Nekatel, draw a card from Satoru, and my opponent immediately concedes. I was like on a very good road to win this one too, but my opponent got me in other two games. Let's see what happened. They were pretty interesting. So I trimmed on Satoru, trimmed on one Rokiric, one Bloodbraid Elf, one Norin, bring in subtleties, bring in two Force of Vigors. Okay, opponent goes for a Cyno Draco here, and I'm struggling to find a right color. So I have subtlety, I have Solitude, I have Force of Vigor, but I need spells like Scion, I need like spells like Territorial Kavu. So I was able to kill the Leyline of the Guildpact, but that was not enough. I'm already on 10, and my opponent also finds my Rokiric, so that is it. I need like maybe a white card to pitchcast a Solitude here, but since they already got my General, yeah, it's definitely game over. Like probably a Scion from the top would let me live for a couple more turns, maybe even completely turn the game around. But okay, let's check out game 3. Okay, so this was the only loss in this league, and it was pretty interesting games, pretty fun matchup against regular zoo with Cascade Zoo. This was in the past like a classic for zoo players, and here my opponent has turn 1 Ragavan into turn 2 Pick Your Poison plus Nishova Brawler, kind of ideal turn for them. And here you can see yeah, I decided to trade with Ragavan here, and this means they have to use the Bolt and lose the Ragavan to take the trade, and I was able to play the Satoru, Surveil, and let them go through with the Brawler. Maybe the better play there was just trade with Brawler. I think that was definitely the play I should have done there. Just trade with Brawler and let the Ragavan through. And here you can see my opponent killing my Leyline of the Guildpact. That didn't matter, and yeah, I'm not sure why I decided to do this. It was definitely unnecessary. I decided to take a risk. I had a lot of decent draws here, but it was completely unnecessary, and I could just go for Verdant Catacombs, find a Dryad Arbor, draw a card, then maybe attack with Satoru because it has menace, but I'm not sure, I can't remember right now, did I just accidentally attack with Kavu or did I mean it? I'm not really sure anymore, but yeah, definitely could have played this better, so I died from the Brawler plus Bolt, and yeah, that was the game. Okay, so that was the match, and that was the only loss in this league, and basically it could very easily be a win if I just played that a bit differently. Okay, so that was it. I'm pretty happy with this deck. It's really doing magnificent job when you just cascade into Satoru. Drawing cards is the most fun thing to do in Magic, and also extremely powerful. Players say why play the Cascade Zoo when you can play the Rhinos, but drawing cards is one of the strongest abilities in Magic, and this Satoru turns into crazy draw engine when you have 4 Charless, 4 Bloodbraid Elf, and pitch elementals in your deck, plus other tricks like Dryad Arbor, Norin the Very, and Endurance, subtleties on the sideboard. So it's very efficient and can get you, draw you a bunch of cards. Also, it's sweet that it's multicolored for the General Ferrous Rokiric, so getting there is just a bunch of multicolor cards that trigger General here, and it's very good in this build. And yeah, okay, so that is it. Hope you like the gameplay, hope you like the league. I think Cascade Zoo finally got a pretty big upgrade, a pretty impactful upgrade, and I think it's right now they're side by side with a regular Zoo, and all the fans of General Ferrous Rokiric and Cascade Zoo, I think, finally can play the game. And I will see how it goes. Will it do some 5-0s? Will it stay in the metagame? If it does, I will probably do a sideboard guide for this build. If not, I'm not sure. Okay, but yeah, it's definitely something I'm considering, and you can find all my sideboard guides at dictionary.com. It's like Patreon-like page where you can subscribe to my profile and get access to my sideboard guides and articles, metagame updates, my thoughts, opinions on stuff, and yeah, there will be a lot of content in the future, already plenty so far. So again, thank you for watching, and that's it for today.